3, 2, 1, end of test. Keying with a go.
Well, hello there, and welcome to another edition of Warbird Wednesday. My name is Fred Bell. I am the Vice Chairman of the Palm Springs Air Museum. We are on the backside of Christmas and headed into a new year, and we are going to give coverage to an airplane that we've kind of skirted around the outskirts a little bit. We've touched on it when I was up at Pax River, and we talked a little bit about it. I think I flew one in a simulator at the Edwards Flight School. But today we're going to talk about the T-38, the Talon, the Northrop product. But first, you know, I've got a chicken sitting on my head.
I feel like chicken tonight, like chicken tonight, like chicken tonight.
And with that, I'm going to go ahead and toss this off camera. Nice catch by the Jason there. Now, the interesting thing is Jason didn't come up with a T-38, but he came up with a derivative aircraft, the F-20. We'll talk about that just briefly. But the T-38 was really the United States foray into supersonic trainers. Its first flight was in 1959 by Lou Nelson. I'll go ahead and throw up a plan view of this aircraft, the F-20. Greg can throw up a plan view of the T-38. It was introduced in 1961. There were 1,189 of these built. Now, a long build period from 1961 to 1972 gives you an idea of the span of time that these were produced. It was powered by two J85 engines. Now, the interesting thing about the T-38 on a supersonic side was it actually had like a whole bunch of records, Jason, rate of climb, time to climb, all that kind of stuff. Guess what happened? It set them, and then about a month later, if memory serves correctly, another airplane came along and broke them. You know which one that was? It was the F4 came in and basically was the dominator at that time. And if you know the F4, you can understand why. We've done a Warbird Wednesday on that. But the T-38 was incredibly, it was widely produced, and it was a very targeted aircraft. The design on the aircraft goes all the way back to the N102 and the N156. In that time frame, they considered the F-100, but if you know the F-100, not only did it do the saber dance, but Jason, it could not do spin recovery. And you can't very well be training in a supersonic airplane and not do spin recovery. In the time that the aircraft has been operated, there have been 50,000 people who've been trained, pilots who've been trained by this aircraft. That is absolutely amazing. I'm going to give you another interesting statistic, but that takes me to my break, and that is a salute to those pilots. Air Force Training Command, we have by far any of Navy, Air Force, Coast Guard, Marines, we have the best trained fighter pilots in the world. And one of the things that comes out of that is these aircraft. We have these purpose-built designed airplanes that make it so that our adversaries are up against the best trained people in the world. Is this stuff dangerous? There's no question that the T-38, I'm going to tell you a statistic when we kind of work our way out here. T-38 and training in the T-38, although it's a fairly forgiving aircraft, it is dangerous training at supersonic speeds. And so, you know, that old saying, there's no pain, no gain in this airplane, that is absolutely true. Now, so he's laughing again. You're putting me through this, Jason. To salute those folks, today. We're going to be having a soda. This is a ginger beer, okay, but non-alcoholic, correct? It's fitting with the chicken, and then this is the Cock and Bull ginger ale. Since 1946, the extra ginger soft drink and a Moscow Mule mixer. So if you want to do that, oh, it even has the recipe on the back of the label. So if you want to make a Moscow Mule, 140 calories, not too bad. But it is no bull. That was a nice pop there. It is no bull when I talk about how proud we should all be of the Air Force and the various training commands, Navy Training Command. They turn out exceptional people. So with that, I salute you. And that's no bull.
Our idiom for today is cock and bull story.
You know, Jason, I realize that you tried to trip me up with the name of this soda, but actually, this isn't too bad.
Good Lord, what is this story all about?
Cock and a bull story.
It's actually pretty good. So with that, I'll go ahead and sit down my CB soda there as we move on. So we've talked about safety with the aircraft. The aircraft has been criticized in that it doesn't have robust gear. You can't really slam this thing down on a runway. One of the other criticisms has been over door problems, gear door problems. And so I think it has the reputation as being a little squirrely, and you can argue with me in the comments, but the numbers do not lie. And this is a statistic that is amazing. From 1961 to 2005, the fleet has flown 25 million hours, which is absolutely amazing. Now, I talk about danger. There have been 45 deaths in that time frame. So the aircraft does have it can bite you. Now, what has come out of the T-38 is both the F-5, which is a very good fighter, and the F-20, which some would argue was one of the best fighters that was never built. Amazing, amazing aircraft. But at the time, with the debate that was going on with Boyd and the fighter mafia, which we've covered in other episodes, we were looking at different performance arguments, and the F-5 and the F-20 were more, I think, of a cheap point defense fighter, and what came on with the F-15, F-16, F-14 were more very dominant air superiority aircraft. Different kind of philosophy, and the point defense argument would be similar to, let's say, what was going on with the Russians, where you just build a ton of them, the Soviet Union at the time, and they don't have a tremendous amount of range, but you've built a whole bunch of them. These multi-mission fighters are where the United States has gone, and you could even argue as we move on with our next generation aircraft that we're now looking at these kind of multi-mission sensor platform airplanes, and we're going to move further and further away from dogfighting aircraft. But the F-5 and the F-20 were very cool. F-5s have been used in adversary roles. They've been sold abroad. The F-20, as I said, was never built. The T-38 is working its way into the civilian market, and I'm sure there are people that operate them. I'm sure a few more people will operate them. But as we get closer and closer to a sunset date where the Air Force is going to replace the airplane, that will be when we see them move into civilian hands for those that can afford them. And that is where we stand on the T-38. Now, if you want to commemorate, we're really doing the 80th anniversary of World War II all year this year, the end of World War II, you can get this really cool kind of sip mug, what I would call it, and it keeps everything cold, and Jason will run down and get you one of these.
Run, Forrest, run!
We can do it. You can do it. Certainly that generation did that. If you came across us on social media and you like one take Warbird videos, which is all we do here, go ahead and give us a subscription, give us a like and a comment, forward us to somebody you think might like this kind of one take content as well. We do a little bit of edit. Greg does a great job at home, and we kind of bang this stuff out every week, and we would love to have you as a subscriber. We cannot do all of this. I'm standing in front of this beautiful Sabre, which was restored by our group. We cannot do all of this without your donation. So click on that link, donate us a couple of bucks. We would surely appreciate it. And in the comment section are links to our education guides. Those are free. Use those to do fun experiments for the kids, or if you're homeschooling, teach the kids, but they are free, and I encourage you to use those. There's a lot of great information in there. My name is Fred Bell. I am the Vice Chairman of the Palm Springs Air Museum. Thanks so much. Have a great day.
3, 2, 1, end of test. King was a go.
Rise to the blessed day, all my fears have gone away. I guess this means I'm here to stay. Yeah, I'm ready to fly, ready to fly. Wasn't long ago I shook at the thought of being hooked. But ever since I wrote my book, I'm ready to fly, ready to fly.
Come along and join us, we can plug you in a simulator. We'll teach you how to dance and be the perfect